Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Miss Faye and this is my world. Today's topic is toxic relationships are addictive. They really are very addictive. Before we get started, I want to say welcome. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to all the new viewers, the new subscribers, and welcome to you who have been with me from the beginning. I really appreciate you. Now to get us started, I did pull a video. Let's watch this short video. We have a letter, and then we're going to talk about this issue. Toxic relationships are addictive. Here we go.
How toxic relationships are really like a drug. You can do all the right things with the wrong partner, but at the end of the day, if God doesn't want you to have peace, it's because that's not designed for you. You're not recognizing your worth, love. Usually men can read people fast. Back in my days, women would always tell me oh no, you seem like a player. And honestly, man, she was right. I was a womanizer. Not something that I'm proud of. Understand? But to this day, if I feel like a woman doesn't have a backbone or if she's too desperate for love, then I'll politely leave her alone. Because I know that I could really take advantage of her because of my past life. I don't want to trigger anything in my life that I know that is just not meant for me. Some of you women really have to understand because you truly do forget that you have options.
Okay, now you see what he said about these toxic relationships. Let's read this letter. This young lady says, I am 27 years old. I am a mother to a 4-year-old and a set of twins. They all share the same father, who is also the same age group as me. We were together for 5 to 6 years. The first year of our relationship was amazing. It usually is, because your first year, you're still on your honeymoon. It ought to be amazing, you know. When he started to show red flags, I didn't know it was red flags. And I also didn't know what abuse was. Okay, well, just to let you know, if it hurts, then it's abuse. Okay, there's your key. If it hurts, it's abuse. We broke up twice before the final breakup. I was punched, kicked, strangled, even spat on my face for the smallest things. I made myself a promise to leave him before I gave birth. So I did. I left while I was pregnant with my twins. Good for you. You don't need a man who's putting his hands on you too? That's no good. No good. Though we are parenting and he's a good dad, I must say, but a horrible man for me. At first, he was trying to convince me no man will ever take me with my kids and that I should only come back to him. But I refused. Good you did, because see, men tell you things like that. All of this is just to chip away at your self-esteem and your confidence and the little power that you have left so that they can keep control over you. Control. You understand? And how they control you? Through fear. You see, men use that fear tactic. And in this world, if you look around, a lot of people use that to control you. Fear. So he's telling you, if you don't stay with me, you're going to be alone. You see? That fear of being alone. That's why he's telling you that. All right? And it's not true. It's not true. You know, there are men out here who will accept you and your children. There are a lot of men who won't, because this is the way that they think, the way that they feel. That, you know, some men don't want to date or marry a woman who has children already. And see, men use that against you because they know that. And some trifling men will give you a lot of babies, never marry you, realizing that you kind of stuck. No other man gonna come in there and take you. You really kind of stuck. You and those kids. So you got to sit there and wait for him to come and use you and abuse you whenever he gets ready. You understand? Men like to have women in these controlled traps. And these are toxic relationships. But there are women who sit and stay in these traps because of fear. With men threatening, you never get nobody else or whatever. And you just take whatever I dish out and that's it. You stay because you are fearful of being alone. Fearful of how you're going to make it on your own. Making your own decisions. Paying your own bills. How you going to do that on your own? Fear keeps people suppressed. It's a very powerful tool. Fear. Don't live your life in fear. Don't. Okay? So I'm glad that you did not listen to him and you refused to take him back. I didn't take him back because I was worried that he would do the same exact thing that he's done before. He would. He hasn't changed. You take him back and you'll be right back on that hamster wheel. Going around and around with him again. The same thing. But he may be even more abusive going around the next time. You see? You don't want to do that. And I also don't want my children in a toxic home. You made the right move there because when I was married my first time, it was a very toxic marriage. Fights, fussing, all the time. And plus, he was a drinker and it just didn't work out. But I didn't want my boys to grow up around that. So I left. I packed my kids up and I left him. And that was that. But that was a decision that I made because I really didn't want them to grow up seeing him be this type of person because he would be their model. Now you see the way that he treats me and think that that's the way you treat women. So I didn't want my boys to grow up treating women the way that their father treated me. So I figured if I wasn't there, they wouldn't see it, they wouldn't know it, and they would have a chance to grow up a little differently. Okay? So I think you made the right decision about leaving him. He has been begging and crying and telling me how sorry he is and that he wants to marry me and give our family a chance. Well, of course, this is all part of the pleading and the begging to get married. Well, he already knows you. He already got 3 kids. So he figured with marriage, what's going to make a difference in his mind. You see, in his mind, he's figuring what's going to make the difference because he's not going to change. He's not going to change and stop beating on you whenever he gets ready. It's going to be more of the same. You see, if you take him back. But he's begging and he's pulling out the marriage card because, see, men, I'm telling you, men know what women want to hear. Women want to hear, I love you. So in the beginning, to get you, they'll say, I love you. A lot of men out here that say it like that are only saying it for sex. And once they get sex, you'll never hear I love you again. All right? Now, the next thing a man will pull out to get you, to get control over you, let's get married and give our family a chance. Now, he's already had umpteen babies with you, but now he decides he wants to marry you. He's got an agenda. There is a reason why he wants to marry you now. Okay? After all these babies, now he wants to marry you. Whatever his agenda is, it's not for your better good. All right? It's not for your better good. It's better for you to continue to protect your children and look forward to a bright future without him. Okay? I keep thinking of his intentions. You were right to think about, because he probably had very bad intentions. Is he just trying to destroy me? Because I've gotten back on my feet very quickly after breaking up with him? Okay, well, let's look at that. If he is a narcissist, then he's coming back to destroy you totally this time. If he's not a narcissist, he's coming back to get more use out of you. It's something that you have that he can use. Not need, but use. Okay? He's waited this long. And now he's staying to marry you because now he sees that you can walk away. See, it's power when you can walk away from a man and show him that you don't need him. It makes you more attractive, and you have a lot of power. And some men will come back to you just to try to take that away from you. They want to put you in your place. They want to show you that you will submit to them. So they'll come back in a way to destroy you. Okay? They want to take all of that confidence away from you. Don't allow it. If a man is for you, he will be for you from the beginning. When he first meets you, he will be supportive of you. He will be trustworthy. He won't come in lying and slipping and sliding and all. If he's going to be serious and honest with you, you won't have to wonder a thing. And you won't have to worry about him getting angry and wanting to fight over anything, because that's toxic. You don't want to be with anybody like that. Now you say, I live alone with my kids and they are healthy, strong, and smart. And I am healthy and very happy since leaving him. Good for you. I know you are. I know it's like a weight had been lifted from you when you left him. I know the feeling. But now that you are there, love yourself and protect yourself. Protect yourself that somewhere down the line, you don't meet someone just like him. Because see, in the beginning, in the honeymoon stage, everybody that you meet is lovable, it's exciting, it's wonderful. But take your time with them, number one, before you have any sex with them at all. Take your time to get to know them. And this takes months, not 1 month, months, 6 months to a year. Take your time to get to know these people before you open up your heart or your legs to them. Okay? This is how you guard yourself. And don't be afraid if men leave, because rejection is your divine protection. Okay? So you got to love yourself. That's number one. So for you in the letter, you did the right thing by leaving this man and never looking back. All right? Okay, we have another short letter here. And let's read this one and see what she says. Is it truly a man's nature to have several lovers? If so, then why are some men capable of monogamy and some are not? Is it that some men are trying to fill a void, insecurity with multiple lovers? Or is it the monogamous man is suppressing his true nature. Okay, here we go. All right, now, I'm gonna reply from a spiritual end, and as a female, my perspective on this issue. Oh, this is my perspective, okay? All right, here we go. Men have free will, just like we do. Everybody has free will. The man has a positive side, and he has a negative side. All right. Now, with free will, you can choose which vibration you want to live in. Do you want to live in the positive, or do you want to live in the negative? Now, the negative is very enticing to a lot of people because your negative side involves your lower self, the lower vibrations, not the high vibrations, the lower vibrations. Okay? And the lower vibrations include lust. Lust. All right? And a lot of other deadly sin like greed, wrath, and so forth. All right? But lust is in the low vibration. Okay? Now, a man's choice. He chooses. He wants to have a lot of lovers. He is living his life in a low vibration. Okay? He has not ascended. Now, if he decides that he doesn't want to do that anymore, and he matures, usually that comes from maturity. That man say, I'm tired of doing this. I really want something real in my life. And now he's raised it up to love, which is the beginning of the higher vibration. Okay? And where monogamy lives, in the love. Okay? Not in the low vibration. So now the man has a choice. But how does this come about? All right. Little boys, I don't even know how, I guess as soon as they can talk, little boys are beginning to be groomed to chase little girls. Okay, that's all well and good. All well and good. But in their homes, if the men in their homes are all living in the low vibration, which means that they cheating on their wives, they got many lovers outside, whether they're married or not, they're subjectifying women, things like that, then these little boys are going to grow up thinking that that's normal. That's the way to be. But it's toxic. You see? So, what do? They do what they believe is normal. Finding as many women as they can. Until maybe one day, they may grow up and decide that they don't want to live that life anymore. Some of them do, and some of them don't. Some of them just continue. Now, what about those young men who grow up and believe in monogamy and practice monogamy? And we're not talking about, your religion or anything like that. We're talking about the person making the decision. These young boys were raised in a home where the men were monogamous. The men were living with love. They were on this keel. They were in a higher vibration. So they didn't cheat on their wives. They didn't objectify women. It wasn't about using women and what to do with women and how to get over on women and things like that. These young men were not raised like that. So, when it's time for them, to approach women, they know how to approach women. They know how to care for women. They know how to love women. They love their mothers. You see? A lot of the men on the other end don't love their mothers. They never learned to love their mothers. You see? So, they don't know how to love you. It's an individual thing, is what I'm trying to say. I don't believe that it's an overall blanket for all men have this issue and all men want to have several lovers and they're suppressing it to be monogamous. I don't believe that. But a man does have a very strong sexual urge. But again, man has free will. Man can transmute that sexual energy and manifest what he wants in his life. The sexual energy is very powerful energy. But that's why I say it's an individual thing. Whether the man is mature enough, whether the man is knowledgeable enough, whether the man was raised this way. And that's what the result is. So I don't believe that men are out here suppressing their urges if they are monogamous. But if a man is monogamous, when you meet him, he's either made a decision to be monogamous or he's always been that from the way he was raised. All right? I hope that you understand that, and I really hope that it helps someone. And I also hope that you understand the message today. Toxic relationships are addictive. And they are addictive because people normalize them. They believe it's normal to be in an abusive relationship. They can't see past it. They've never been in a loving relationship. And a lot of them have never even seen a loving relationship. So they attract more toxic relationships until they decide they don't want to do it anymore. You see? But the addictive part of it is because something inside of you is enjoying a toxic relationship. It's something inside of you that is feeding off of that toxic relationship. All right? Let me explain this one. You know, there are women out there who appreciate a beating. Yeah. They appreciate a beating. They feel like it makes them feel more wanted. It makes them feel like the man really cares about them if he beats them. You understand? That's a toxic relationship. But they are addicted to the beating. You understand? You can get addicted to things in a toxic relationship. And other than keep attracting it, you will look for it in the relationship. You will look for it to happen in these toxic relationships because something in you is feeding off of that energy. All right? I hope that you understand the message. Now, those of you who have questions that you would like for me to answer, my email address is in the description. And also, those of you who are looking for your exercises for today, also a link in the description. I want to thank you so much for your comments. I read them and I appreciate them so much. Thank you for your letters. And a special thank you to those that leave a donation. I really appreciate all of you. I wish you all the very best. And I really hope to see you next time.